Hey guys, it's me, Nicola Dickens with Free Mike here. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel, whichever the case may be. What is the matter with you? I gotta call the groomer. He needs to be groomed. He is a ragamuffin, let me tell ya. Okay, so it is Wednesday. Today we are doing our first day of our Cannabis book club. So I have our beautiful little diamond here. I don't know why it was sitting on my chair, but it was, so it ended up on my chair. So, first things first, let's see. We're going to be watching The Emperor Wears No Clothes. This one's by Jack Herer, which you guys probably recognize from A Strain of Cannabis. Oh, I got a copy. Okay, so today, because your girl fucked up, and my medical card expired 3 days ago. Leave it to me. So, yeah, I have to figure out where to do that. I'm hoping I can do something online, but I'm probably going to have to go in. I don't know. I'm hoping. I have a really complicated history. So, I'm like, I don't want to grab all of that crap. So, as you know, you're stuck with this for a little while. So, I have a call in to get into a doctor. It's just going to take a minute. As always. So, as always, guys, fuck cancer, fuck anxiety, fuck depression, fuck COVID. In with the good and out with the bad. And believe it or not, this is actually filled with Jack Herer, because I filled it before we ran out. So I wanted to show you guys this. I thought it was really cute. I have this little Yocan Evolve Plus dab pen. I don't know what you want to call it. But the problem with it is that that button is so freaking sensitive that if you lay it down and it touches any part of that button, your weed is gone. It's just gone. So I made this little teddy bear to put my little thing in, and it doesn't touch the button. So, yeah, you know, little hacks from unknown places. So, and the bear I just made out of resin. Alrighty. So before we get this started, what do you guys think of the new set? I will have my mica powders back there for any of the stuff that I do. I am working on Friday's video for the Cannabis. Right now I'm working on the heart tray. It's about this big by about this, and it's all irregular shaping. So you could potentially put it and make it a table, or you could use it as a platter, or any of those things. So I am going to be working on that. I'm doing a whole Valentine's thing with this tray, and I'm asking for you guys to throw in the comments down below, who should I give this to? Should I take this to the local hospital? Should I take this to the local fire department? Or the police station, or any of these places? Where do you think I should take this one? It is going to be free, obviously, and it's just something I'd like to do to give back to my community, because they've always been so awesome. So we're going to do that this year. Every month we're going to come up with a new, I don't know, scene, and it will go to a new place. So that is the goal. Yesterday I gave the pharmacy a little heart EKG thing, and it has a heart in it. Just something different for them to put up there. Just, I don't know, to let them know that you're appreciated. I'm one of those people that I'm like, people just, we're tired of having to deal with all this crap. So I want to kind of, you know, make up for some of my stupidity and my Karen ways that I had, that, you know, I'm in remission for, and I was, and I never realized it. And so, guys, when you're looking at a Karen out there, I know they're freaking annoying. I do. I really do. And they know they're annoying. So one of these days they will open their eyes, something will click. With me, it was during COVID. I couldn't wear a mask because I was going in for a major surgery. They took my bladder out. So I couldn't wear a mask because I was going, you know, into surgery. And he's like, if there's anything in there and it gets into your lungs, we got to stop this. And I'm like, fine. Okay, no mask. And I was walking into a dispensary in Flagstaff, of all places, because I love Flagstaff. They said, no, you have to have a mask on to come in here. And I'm like, well, my doctor says I can't wear a mask because I'm going in for surgery. And if there's anything in the mask, and I kind of explained, she goes, I'm sorry, that's just a policy. And I wanted to get mad and say that's not a law. It's a, you know, it's not a law. It's a bill, and there's a difference. But it clicked in my head right then and there that this was their business. And they had the right to refuse anybody that they wanted to. And for me to go in there and make a ruckus is only going to do one thing. It's going to piss people off and get me banned from the damn dispensary. So it's, you got to think about it. And it did. It clicked in that moment. And I'm like, okay, how do you want to do this then? I really, you know, want to order. And she's like, here, we'll do it this way. She goes, I'll send the guy out to you. You'll do the order and he'll bring it out to you. I said, that's awesome. But I need the ATM in there. Is there any way? Because this parking lot was so tiny. And we have a dually. And it was so small. Oh my goodness. And I'm like, is there any way I can sneak over there? Because I don't want to. The parking lot's so... And I explained the situation. She's like, go ahead. And it was really cool about it. But it clicked in my head right then that this isn't my business. This is theirs. And they have that right. So guys... I know the whole Karen thing is annoying and horrible. One day they will wake up. I promise. I did. I am in remission, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to be a lot happier. Okay? Alrighty, so let's get into this. So I have the official 14th edition. I'm going to show you guys the pictures. Oh, that was a 7-minute intro. I apologize. I'm so sorry. But guys, don't forget to put it in the comments below who we should give the Valentine's platter to. And we're gonna be making the whole thing on the Cannabis too. So it'll be a good time. Good time. Here's what the national press said about the Emperor Wears No Clothes. Scientific American said the book is chock full of marijuana Americana. Wall Street Journal, what is a versatile as a soybean but illegal anyway? Pot guru Jack Herr has new reasons to promote the hemp plant. Food, I'll get it. Food, fuel, and fashionable attire. ABC, a remarkable little book. If hemp could supply the energy needs of the United States, its value would be inestimable. One of those words I can't say for nothing. Inestimable? Now that the drugs cartel is the final retreat, America has the opportunity to, once and for all, say farewell to Exxon Valdez, Saddam Hussein, and the prohibitory explosion brinkmanship in the desert sands of Saudi Arabia. Orange County Register, the dangers of hemp are far from overwhelming. Re-legalizing hemp could be the single most important environmental reform we could undertake. Politically incorrect, a triumph for the open mind. Alrighty, so hopefully I can read this without screwing it up too bad. I'm not going to read the preface. I will, however, read the dedication. And then we'll jump into the introduction, and that'll be it. We will start the introduction. Holy crap. Okay. I might split it in between simply because these are really long chapters. I make notes You'll see that as we go through. There's notes in the corners. There's lots of different notes because there's a lot of different things that you can get out of this book. It is just an amazing book. So the dedication is to Edwin. Captain Ed M. Adair III, born October 29th, 1940, died August 16th, 1991 of leukemia. Father of Scarlett Robin and Edwin Marsh the third, my bad. My Roman numerals. He was my teacher, partner, and friend, the most honorable man and the bravest freedom fighter I've ever known. He taught so many of us how to save the earth from ourselves and to laugh at yet love its enemies. In 1974 to 75, possession of under an ounce of hemp pot was decriminalized in the state of in the state of California, my bad. Captain Ed, pictured above at right with the author at the 1990s Minnesota Rainbow Gathering, was 33 years old and I was 34. We took a pledge at that time. Virtually anyone in California's pot movement thought we'd already won. They'd begun to drift away from the movement and had gone back to their lives, thinking the battle was over and that the politicians could clean up the loose ends. Captain Ed didn't trust politicians to get the job done, and he was right. Ed's pledge that he and I took in 1974, and again in April 1980, 86, and 88, and finally the hospital 4 days before he died in 1991, was what we'd swear to work every day and legalize marijuana and get all pot prisoners out of jail until we were dead. Marijuana was legal, or we could quit when we turned 84. We wouldn't have to quit, but we could. When we first made the pledge, we were 50 years away from becoming octogenarians. 80-year-olds, that is. Incredibly, we thought that in the light of all the amazing information we had uncovered about hemp, that was the battle for complete legalization of cannabis, would easily be over in 6 months to 2 years at the most. Captain Ed gave us hemp as one of mankind's most honorable and most important saviors. I vow to continue the fight, and I ask my fellow Californians and all Americans and the rest of the world to join us. Jack Herer. Publisher's dedication to Jack Herer, born June 18th, 1939, died April 15th, 2010. Father of Barry Daniel Mark River, Chauncey, and BJ. As a special dedication goes out to Jack's grandchildren, Hannah and Isabel, and Kamiloh. I'm not going to try. I will mess it up. I already know. As well as his widow, Jeannie Herer, who continues to work to preserve my father's legacy. I would like to acknowledge and thank Bruce Michael Deaston for recreating the edition. Okay. Yeah, let's smoke and drink something because I'm getting tongue-tied. It's sad thing. I've read this book a few times. It says when you're trying to do it for a camera and then you like screw it up. So guys, fuck cancer, fuck anxiety, fuck depression, fuck COVID. And with the good, not with the bad. For recreating and editing the 14th edition of The Emperor Wears No Clothes, as well as the first ebook edition from nothing more than paper copies of previous editions. I would also like to acknowledge all of the editors, contributors, and researchers for all the previous editions of Empire Wears No Clothes, and to all who have supported and believed that in this information and this plant could actually change the world in which we live. I applaud your continued fight for liberation of cannabis to the end of prohibition and to the end of ignorance, which has for so long sequestered the truth from where our collective understanding. The truth is out and the cannabis is future. Dan Harrer, publisher, Harrer Media and Publishing, Inc. Alright. I think we need one. Okay. Introduction to the 1990 through 2007 editions, dedicated to all the prisoners of conscience in his war against the plant and the enduring spirit of people everywhere who seek the truth so that we can continue to live on the surface of the earth with all its myriad and abundant natural plants and substances. The purpose of this book is to present an authoritative historical, social, and economic perspective needed to ensure comprehensive legal reforms, abolish cannabis, hemp, marijuana prohibition laws, and to save the earth. Oh, and to save the earth systems. I wrote my first book on marijuana, which was an acronym, GRASS, in early 1973. At that time, I had no idea this plant could do anything except maybe make rope, let alone it was Earth's most important resource for paper, fiber, fuel, and etc. I completed the first Emperor in 1985 after 12 years of recording hemp information. It was meant to be the culmination of a highly focused personal crusade with my longtime friend and associate, Captain Ed Adair, to win the right to use marijuana and educate people about hemp. It was Captain Ed who, since 1973, consistently encouraged me to record and compile the facts I obtained about marijuana and hemp. As I gathered a fact here and a fact there, a bigger picture of cannabis, hemp, and its suppression came together. One that I had not originally expected. What came together, fact after imperial fact, was a picture of a world being destroyed by malicious conspiracies to suppress not a killer weed, but the world's premier renewable natural resource for the benefit of a handful of wealthy and powerful individuals and corporations. Over the years since first publication of the Emperor, thousands more facts have surfaced corroborating the information that was originally gathered, correcting the same minor details, and adding substance and further insight to the hazier areas of my work. Esoteric details of a great conspiracy against mankind began to fall into place, like the filing of a jigsaw puzzle. The entire text has been repeatedly revised. Whole new sections and sidebars have been added. Although this information has never been denied by the U.S. government, it has largely been ignored by the media. I've seen more and more of my friends locked away in prison and have their homes, jobs, businesses taken from them as a result of this escalating war on drugs. This has become a nightmare for many of our best citizens who having trusted their own intellects and having taken responsibility for their own health, have defied this bad public policy and have become only prisoners of conscience, but actual prisoners in the war. I hope after reading this book, you will stand up with me and recognize them, not as outlaws, but as the heroes who are attempting to save the seed that will save the planet. Now people have been drawn into this project whose work has given it a scope of dimension I could only have hoped for at the beginning. These have brought with them skills and information that have been a major contribution to this effort. No egos, surfaced as 4 or 5 of us stayed up night after night, and only the best information from each mind was brought forth. When you write a book like the original Emperor, because the information which should be common knowledge is virtually unknown to our teachers and our citizens, you always hope someone of great energy and intellect will read it, make it their own, and join in the teaching of others. Over the years, hundreds, perhaps thousands of people who have read The Emperor Wears No Clothes have thanked me for writing one of their favorite books. At a Grateful Dead concert, one Yale graduate even thanked and hugged me as his favorite author of all times, and was thrilled that I was still alive. He had first heard of his mother reading him The Emperor when he was a small boy, obviously thinking the 19th century children's classic The Emperor's Clothes by Hans Christian Andersen. One day late in '88, Chris Conrad read The Emperor. He became my ally. With the endless energy, prestigious editing, and publishing talents, Chris worked 40 hours per week for almost 5 months and did all without any compensation. Yet he worked like he was being paid $1 million for it. During this time, Chris's wife, Mick Norris, lent her support in many ways to the project. Also, we have extended endless thanks to the rest of our dedicated hemp warriors. So yummy. So I don't drink real coffee anymore. At all. I was upset with Starbucks. We need to like untongue tie our mouth. So I do Everyday Dose by a coffee, mushroom coffee from Everyday Dose. It actually is really good. It was better than I expected. Okay. Thanks to past associate editor and contributing writer Lynn Osborne, who is both a great writer and marijuana hemp energy scientist. Lynn set out to prove if indeed hemp qualified as one of the Earth's primary renewable energy resources. He researched the technology needed to bring clean renewable energy into this use of this planet. The results of his brilliant work can be found on almost every page of this book. An excerpt from his paper, Energy Farming in America, is reprinted in the appendix. Lynn's work will teach people all over the world the beauty, necessity, and easiness of energy farming and conservation. While Lynn was researching for this work, he was arrested for a marijuana cultivation violation. He continued to work on this project day and night until January 2nd, 1990, when he was incarcerated in Ventura County, California, for a period of 1 year. He continued to actively edit this book from behind bars. To another one of my great associate editors and contributing writers, Lynn's wife, Judy Osborne, Judy has, out of necessity and outrage, become a noted authority and author on seizure and forfeit law. The necessity arose from the government seizure of the Osborne family's home in '88. Since then, they have worked out with me a plan to save the planet for our children. Judy's excellent book, Spectra of Forfeiture, detailing her ordeal, is now out of print. To Shan Clark for his active participation in editing, cataloging, inputting, and for pushing this project and me forward when it or I might otherwise have stalled. To the former assistant, Maria Farrow, who accompanied me from the Library of Congress to the Smithsonian and to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, as we tracked down and interviewed dozens of government officials about hemp, hunted down hundreds of documents about the cannabis cover-up. To Dana Beal for all his work and research brilliance in connecting the DuPont dynasty by Jerry Colby with the information on the outlawing of hemp. Remember that. DuPont. Always remember DuPont in anything we are going to be talking about, especially in this book. Because it's going to come back. I promise. In a big way, it's going to come back. To Jerry Colby for his brave and ingenious work, which will awaken us to the megalomania of DuPonts. To Ben Basel for his hard critics, great assistance, and research in the more historic abstracts on hemp cultivation worldwide and more. To Julie Kirschenbaum for her excellent editorial assistance in proofreading, and to DSH for his editorial assistance and meticulous concern for accuracy and readability, to Doug McVeigh for proofreading and the editorial comment in the 1990 edition, to Steve Hager, John Holmstrom's and High Times crew for their editorial assistance and total support, not only for this project, but in the idea that the earth could be saved and that each one of us can become a freedom fighter for this cause. To the whiz kids from Nowhere, capital K-N-O, capital W-A-R-E, Ron Lawrence and Vicky Marshall, who of their own volition scanned the old versions of the Emperor into their Mac computers when I returned from my fall '89 college hemp speaking tour. They handed me a surprise gift, the old book in word processing form, which gave me the jump start I needed for this huge undertaking. To Timothy Leary, who encouraged Ron and Vicky and me to do this job. To George Clayton Johnson, who for 23 years consistently brought me fresh edits of The Emperor and loving encouragement to update and republish this book. To Michael and Michelle Aldrich for teaching me almost everything I know about hemp. To my friends, the late Dr. Todd, I'm going to screw this up, I'm so sorry, Macuria, and Dr. Fred, I'm going to screw this one up too, Orther, for their critique of medical sections. To Loie Glover, office manager at the Normal, capital N, all capitals, NORML, for her consistent support and warm encouragement. Remember, if you ever need information legally on hemp, cannabis, any of those, CBD, that is who you want to first go to, Normal. Capital N, capital O, capital R, capital N, and capital L. So yeah, it's not spelled correctly, but that's how they do it. Always remember that. They come back and they do a lot for people. And we'll go over that. To Gatewood, Galbraith and Mark Brenneman of Lexington, Kentucky, for all their remarkable research on behalf of the cannabis and their fight for Kentucky's citizen rightful heritage of future potential. To Barry for his extensive hemp archives, which he made available to the hemp movement and ultimately to this project. To my dear friends Ron and Vicky Linker of Starseed Collections of Athens, Ohio. To Ellen Comp for all her contributions to and editorial help on the 1993 edition of Ed Kunkel for helping us get over the finish line and the printer, and to Chris Conrad for tossing us a lifeline once again at the last minute and encouragement, money and credit even when it hurt. They are David and Gloria Smith, Marco, Allen, and Regina, John and Carol, David and Debbie, Stephen. I'm going to screw this one up. I apologize. Chatette, Chuquette, Roger, Gary H. Rooster, Dudley, Jim, Rose, Chris, Gail, and Billy, the friendly stranger, Ed, Steve, and Andrew, D'Angelo, Rick, Performer. Sorry, my computer in there just like started going. I'm like, what the hell? TC, Michael from New Jersey, BEAU, and Rachel, the late Jonathan Drool, who brought us all this incredible energy, to Lynn, Thelma, Malone for keeping the home fires burning, and Doug, Chuck, and Tim, to Richard and friends in Treasure Valley, Ohio, to Mark Energy from Cannabis Culture Magazine, to Wayne, Mary, and Chef Barrett, A. Ray and Thelma Hawkins, Heidi and Dale Spencer, and Joanne Bauer, and to everyone who has read and contributed to this work who I may inadvertently have left out. Okay, I read all of that for one very, very specific reason. There's information that you need to know in there, like normal and all of that stuff. But I want you guys to hear the names of the people and how many people contributed to this book alone. This is not a book of opinions. This is a book of facts. This is something that they've tested and they've gone through. And I mean, they've talked to everybody. Agricultural, energy, I mean, you name it. That's why I wanted to go ahead and read that to you, because I want you to understand how many people were involved in this book. There were so many people. So, 1998 to 2007 edition, to Michael Kleineman, who had the foresight and business acumen to help us make this edition of the Emperor the best one ever. My hope is this book helps everyone understand the true nature of cannabis, hemp, and that you, dear reader, decide to become active in the effort to end this crime against man and nature, marijuana prohibition. This book is meant to provide you with the tools and incontrovertible facts and the sense of outrage needed to overcome more than 70 years of continual government lies and suppressions of the truth. To Eddie Lepp and Linda Senti for growing 32,000 legal medical marijuana plants, charging $500 a pound for buds like Super Silver Haze by the Greenhouse, Soma Rock Bud, Stennis Star, Paradise Seeds, Jack Harrer, and Sensi Seeds, Cali Star, Ed's Personal Strain, Grape Ape, Sweet Purple Med Ed, and Doc Cough, to Legal Proposition 215, patients with doctor's notes in California and their unflinching courage in facing federal charges from the DEA. We have tried to be as factual and accurate as humanly possible, but there will always be revisions and corrections needed. Please send me copies of any documents and materials that will make the next edition of The Emperors even stronger. And once again, to my 2007 readers and partners in Discovery, thanks for all the documents, clippings, and tips you have sent us over the past years. Keep sending all of your information, all your new information that will help us put pieces of this puzzle together for future editions. You can reach us at emperorupdates@gmail.com, capital E, capital U. To my many editors, present and past, Leslie Cabrala, Jeff Mayers, Tom McCormick, Jeremy Stan, Lynn and Judy Osborne, Ellen Comp, Chris Conrad, Shan Clark, Bryce Garner, and Carolee Wilson. I wanted to thank you again for being the most outstanding collaborators, patriots, and hempsters I could ever wish to have worked with. I like that, hempsters. That's cool. And finally, to my former girlfriend, now my wife, Jeannie Hawkins Harrer, whose dedication to the hemp movement and hard work on this book have made me the happiest and luckiest hemp warrior of all. Sincerely, Jack Harrer, director and founder, Hemp, H-E-M-P, all capital, which is an acronym for Help End Marijuana Prohibition. Okay, let's work on it. How long have we been going? Okay. Forward. My first forward for this book was written in '85. A lot of time has passed since then, but some things have remained constant. In '85, I wrote 600,000 pot arrests nationwide. Last year, in '97, there were still 62,000 new arrests for marijuana-related offenses. At least 75% of those cases involve marijuana possession or growing for personal consumption. 13 years have brought some changes, of course. Today's sentencing laws are even more severe than what they were in '85. More people are losing their homes for marijuana offenses that were in '85 as a result of the war on drugs. Prison buildings, not schools, have become a hot new growth industry as the protections of the Fourth Amendment are becoming a fond but increasingly vague memory. Another distribution changes has been heightened, if that is imaginable, of the level of government hypocrisy. Who would ever believe that the government was hypocritical? Public proclamations to the contrary notwithstanding, no one today can seriously believe that war on drugs is more winnable than was the Vietnam War. No one now can seriously doubt the benefits and the permanent ceasefire on this insane drug war. Now, we're talking about marijuana. We're not talking about, what some of the sanctuary cities have done with all drugs. We're talking about marijuana. Nevertheless, the war rages on. Our medical acknowledgments alone put therapeutic value of marijuana beyond question, yet people are still being prosecuted for their purely medical use of cannabis. The government says maybe so, but we're sending them a message. Then those 642,000 people were casualties in a war that only a symbolic rational. Then those 642,000 people were casualties in a war that was only a symbolic. Gotcha. That took me a second. My bad. I look at my comments of 13 years ago with a certain amazement that the words are still accurate. Quite disappointingly, actually. I had hoped we would have put the issue to rest and that by now Jack Herer's book would have become an historical curiosity. No, the book today is as timely as ever. The Emperor still quite naked. Preface. Jack Herer has done it with incredible precision, backed by voluminous research. He has placed a finger on the point where all of the trends that threaten to overwhelm the world come together, and the core of the complexities he has found: hemp. The promise of Jack Herer's book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes, is fanciful in the extreme that the diverse properties of the scorned and condemned marijuana plant can provide sufficient clothing, oil, medicine, fuel, food, and shelter for all the peoples of the world. If completely legalized and commercialized, and the hemp will prove to be means of saving the planet, us, from acid rain, global warming, and the depletion of our precious forests and fossil fuels. Further, the alleged dangers of marijuana smoking pale before the many advantages that are potential in the free commerce of hemp and its byproducts. Now that Jack has pointed out these facts to the changing world searching for truth, the people, of course, will quickly set things right by renouncing the 1961 Single Convention Treaty on Drugs and Marijuana, and will tool up to produce a wealthy, quality, ecologically sound goods for an upwardly mobile society. As science fiction writer, this view of the altered world of clean skies and lush forests filled with freedom-loving people living in hemp houses, driving their hemp-fueled cars down hemp-lined freeways, dressed by their hemp fiery, eating their hemp tofu salad, okay, is very appealing to me. Jack makes a very good case for it being possible. And in my reading, this is informative book, I find that I am charmed. Apparently, Jack Harrer has a dream. His future has hemp fully integrated into the society such as the need for fossil fuels and synthetic fibers, for example, will have been replaced by natural substances that are actually renewable and non-toxic. That's where they're talking about that footprint. That's very important. Okay. He sees our intelligence raised and our health improved by a complete adenosine protein that essential fatty acids, linoleic and linoleic, that are found in the abundance of the flesh and oil of hemp seed. He sees how our shelter, food, clothing, medicines, and fuels and mental state will have become spiritually affected for the better because of hemp. He has devoted his life to making the future become true, and I can live in it. George Clayton Johnson, author of 8 Twilight Zone episodes, Twilight Zone the movie, Logan's Run book and movie, Star Trek, Ocean's 11, Kung Fu, etc. Wow. Wow. So, yeah. How much time have we got? Okay, we did 42 minutes. So, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to stop here. I don't want to, keep your time all day. But we'll stop here. We will pick that back up on next Wednesday. They're really good. So, yeah, there's a lot of opinions. There are a lot of research that try to go against this book. But as we're going to get through there, you're going to find out that there is actually a reward, I guess you want to say, for somebody who can do this, so they can live on with the hemp. They can use it for their clothes. They can and they can actually put it into effect and use it, which I think is kind of cool. And I want to say that the reward was $50,000, but we will read that in here. It's pretty cool. I first read this book and I was like, wow. And then I started doing research on some of the other things that were going on at that time, and with DuPont and the different companies back then, and logging industries. It all ties in together, which is kind of interesting. And one thing that I think would be pretty kind of cool is to get a copy of this to RFK and let him look at it. I'd be curious on his thoughts of it, because all of our most of our food now is processed. It's not good. It's got dyes in it. It has, all of this crap. Me personally, I've decided, no, I'm gonna go local, and we have a local butcher that does his own meat here, so I'm able to do that with our meat. We don't have those dyes and stuff in them. However, a lot of places do, and they don't have that option. So I'm, you know, kind of hoping that maybe we can pick it up where he's left off and get it out there and get, you know, get that contest going again and say, hey, what the heck? We can do this. Why won't you let us? So that is it for today. Thank you guys. Mwah. Mad love as always. Huh. Mad love as always. Uh-oh, I'm almost out. You know, I remember when we first got our cards, if we had like a 2-week grace period. They don't do that no more. Woo. So as always, guys, mad love. If you have any questions, throw them down in the comments below. Again, who should we give the Valentine's Day thing to, platter to, decoration to, whatever? Throw it down in the comments below. You know, the hospital, fire department, police department, just something nice to show to our community. Throw that down in the comments down below too. I'm kind of curious what you guys think. And then, you know, Friday we'll be doing a whole section of it. So hopefully it'll be cool. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a beautiful day. Mad love. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Okay.